Okay, so now we have our data imported. The next thing that we want to do is to check our results and ensure that things are fine. And here, there are a few things usually that cause problems. You may find that you have duplicate results, and for some pupils, the results could be, actually triple digits. Instead of somebody getting like 90 out of 100, you find they have a score like 158, 200, and all that. And usually that is caused by duplicates. And the other thing you might meet with is that when you're trying to generate your results, you find that maybe some subjects don't have results built. Maybe because you didn't assign contributions for them and all these other things. So I'm going to show you here steps that you're going to follow on how to clean up your data. So the first thing is, if you've been using our system, like you use maybe earlier versions of Glad Tidings Disco, you might have been using one where the Interim assessment was different from other assessments, like the continuous assessment, meaning in the way it was defined. And so what you have to do first is to ensure that you have assessments defined. So let's follow through a number of steps here. And so the steps that we're going to follow is: one, we want to add assessments, okay, and then two, move old end term assessments to new one, three, move old assessments to new ones, and then four, once we do these movements, the next thing we want to check is that check that no class is assigned results for a wrong section, and I'll explain to you what that actually means. And then 5, we will need to remove duplicate class subject assignments. And then 6, we will go to assessment contributions and ensure that each subject has assessments defined, assessment contributions, and then 7, remove duplicate results. Okay, so I'll have to remove duplicate results. And then 8, build results. And then 9, view results. So these are the steps that we're going to go through. Good. Right, so these are the steps that we're going to go through. I know that you might not been able to see some of the things. So first we're going to add assessments, and then we're going to move old end-term assessments to new ones, and then move old assessments to new ones. We'll check that no class is assigned results for wrong section, and so forth. Alright, so we're going to go through each of these steps. And let's get started with the first step. And I'm going to show you that in the actually that one we can do now, and then when it comes to checking that no class assigned results for wrong section, we're going to do that in the next video. So let's do 1, 2, 3 for now. Alright, so we go to gradebook. So under assessments, that's where we can find that. Let's wait for it to come up. Yeah, so you go to assessments, and notice that we have these assessments that have been defined by Rusangu. CAT, not sure what this might be, but MT most likely this is midterm, and then we have end of term. Okay, this could be just continuous assessment, but I don't know. So first thing that you actually need to do is to specify that these two CA, they're part of assessment. They're sort of continuous assessments, and we already have predefined assessment types in the system. Okay, which is like a test, and then you have an exam. So what you need to do is to edit this and set it to say a test. Of course, we can change it later. But what this does is that it tells the system that this is actually part of continuous assessment. And this, you can also say that it's a test. And then this, of course, you can say it's an exam, because exam is the only type of assessment right now, which is, if you go there, if you go to assessment types, notice that all these others are continuous assessments except this end term and exam. So I mean, you can pick either that or that, and some schools have defined for themselves end term, but others use exam. So these two are not continuous assessments, but the rest are part of continuous assessments. And this is very significant because when the system is calculating all these things, like your continuous assessment and stuff, it will take this into consideration. So if you go back to assessments, we do have this here. All right, now the next thing we need to do is to check if we have some results that are in the old format, where the end term was not part of assessments like this. So you simply go to submitted results here, got submitted results, and then you notice that there's this small thing that you can click here which says move old results. So I'll click on that, and then the first part that I can do is to move old end term results. I simply select what is our current end term assessment. What is it called? So it's called EOT. So I'll select EOT, and then I'll say move old end term results to this EOT, and I'll just say move, and I'll be asked, are you sure? I'll say yes, I'm sure, that's why I'm doing it. And then it will tell me that it has moved 30,778 old end term results. And then I need to do the same thing for assessments. So remember, those of you might have been using this system for some time, you recall that assessments used to have numbers. So you'd have something like the assessment name, say midterm 1, midterm 2, midterm 3, and all that. And that's how you used to enter results. But now you have to create, each of those should have its own name, so when you're creating, if you have test 1, it must be test 1. It's not just it's not like where you used to do it where you say test and then 1 and then another number and all that. So for that, you have to move those old assessments to the correct ones that you defined now. And what we want to do is to move this old MT -1, we'll move it to midterm. If the end results, it will tell us that it has moved. And you see, it has moved 8,626. Then also, there's midterm 0, this one. We move it to just midterm. And it has moved 1,507. And then, we also have end of term 0, which we want to move to end of term. You see, it has moved 1,909. Then we also have end of term -1. We'll move this to end of term, like that. And it has moved 9,001. So you see, you had some results that were hidden, maybe you're not even seeing them. So once you are done with this movement, you know that now you have all your results, both past and present, in the same format. Okay? They're now all in the same format. The next step that we're going to take is to now clean up and ensure that there's no subject or there's no class say a junior class assigned results for a senior subject. And I'll show you what I mean by that in the next video.